UvaldeRadio.net opening night tonight at the Uvalde Grand Opera House, their local presentation of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And with me, joining me on the phone, the director, the one and only Miss Jan McCaleb Elliott.
Thank you, Robert.
Welcome, director. Are you sitting in a fancy director's chair? You know, one of those chairs that say director on the back?
Of course, absolutely.
Do you have the cool little beret on and like one of those horns?
Absolutely, and a scarf.
Exactly.
And a scarf around my neck.
Of course.
Or, one of those ascot things. Yes, absolutely.
I'm picturing you right now. It's awesome. So yeah, today opening night, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Of course, Ian Fleming's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. We know it from the film with Dick Van Dyke, and you guys are putting together the Uvalde local version of the acclaimed film. Wow.
Well, it's actually, the film was in 1968 from a 1964 book that Ian Fleming wrote for his son.
Oh.
And Ian Fleming didn't even live long enough to see the book published, and which is very interesting since it became so famous after the fact. And then not until 2000 was the stage version even written.
Wow.
So this particular literature has not been on stage, or wasn't even written for stage or performed until 2002. And of course it started in England and then came to Broadway, and it's traveling now, actually, I think. But it's very interesting to do such a huge musical with all the choreography. We have a full orchestra. There's been a lot of challenging things, you can imagine, since we started in March, a lot of things. But the cast and the musicians and the crew are just amazing. And so it's been a labor of love. We have a totally committed cast, and I think Uvalde's going to be blown away by the talent. I really do.
Now, before we get into all that part about the cast and the rehearsals and how all that has gone, let's go back to the source material. You mentioned Ian Fleming. Now, when I hear Ian Fleming, I automatically think 007. You know,
of course.
And it's interesting whenever people go, Ian Fleming's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I never really kind of likened him to kind of a family musical kind of guy. Now, admittedly, I'm not too familiar with his body of work outside of 007 and now Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Are you familiar with any of Ian's stuff outside of those things?
Everything he did had to do with the time period in which he lived.
Okay. Because
there were lots of wars and skirmishes and, British intelligence and espionage and all of that. Basically, everything he did was good versus evil. And even in this play, although it's for children and families, there's good and evil in it. There truly is, because there's the hilarious and scary child catcher. In Bulgaria, there are no children allowed. So he catches them, and they live in the sewers under the castle, which is really wonderful in some ways, because they've created their own little community, and so the Baron and the Baroness, that they are the ones who keep the toy maker in business, and that's what makes Bulgaria a beautiful place to live, is because there are no, little children to mess things up. It's kind of crazy. So there's some antagonists,
right?
And yet the victors, of course, are going to be the children. Absolutely, they will take care of everything that is not lovely and beautiful, and that's when we can all stand up and cheer. And of course, most of that is because of Chitty being able to fly and float and make things easy for those trying to do good.
And as a reminder, here on UvaldeRadio.net, Uvalde Good Egg Enterprises has donated some tickets to the show. So whenever you hear Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the flying and, sailing car, be sure and call in at 830-407-5137 to win a pair of tickets. That's going to go on today and tomorrow for the show Saturday night, 7 p.m. So, again, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, opening night tonight, Uvalde Grand Opera House. You can buy your tickets online right now at uvaldeoperahouse.org. So let's go ahead and talk about the casting and the local players in this thing. I guess give me some of your headliners and the process by which you pick them.
Okay, Caractacus Potts is the inventor in the show who eventually restores Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Chitty Chitty was in Ian Fleming's story, in which he wrote comparing several aero-engined race cars, and then he turned it into a family kind of a car situation. But the car originally had won the 1910 British Grand Prix. So
wow.
It's a famous car, and then it's in a junkyard, and how can, and the two kids, Jeremy and Jemima, Caractacus Potts' little boy and girl, fell in love with this car, and, oh, Daddy, can't you fix it? I mean, he's an inventor. Why couldn't he fix it? Of course he could. And his wife has died, and then another lady comes into his life accidentally, and he invents something that gives him enough money to buy the junked-up car, from the junkyard. And then the adventure starts. So, I'm really asking everybody to summon their inner child and all the imagination to where you actually feel and see Chitty flying over and being victorious over the people who are trying to destroy it or steal it. And but anyway, Caractacus Potts is Greg Knapp, and he's totly incredible. He has a beautiful voice. He is a great actor. Mm-hmm. And all of these people, when we were auditioning, said, "Do you dance?" And they all went, "Not really." Well, I guarantee you, they all do dance, and they are fabulous.
Tell Pastor Greg I'm going to tell him, because we go to a Baptist church and there's no dancing allowed.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I grew up Baptist, and I know better than that.
That's true.
We're the best dancers in town.
That's right. Yeah, all right. So,
and then Truly Scrumptious is the lady lead in, which is a wonderful name, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
and her brothers and sisters have even more incredible names than hers. So Truly Scrumptious is Eliza Casey, and of course she has a beautiful voice also and a very sweet spirit. You can just feel it on stage. Grandpa Potts, who is Greg's dad, he's also Caractacus Potts, but the older version. Uh-huh. And he's a military man, and so he's very stern, and he lives in an old place where he was a leader of men in India. He's British, but he has a place in his mind and his heart that he lives in India. So we just pretend all through the show he's in India.
We call that eccentric,
and we call it eccentric, yes, we do. So JQ plays Grandpa Potts, and he has another good voice. Baron Bombburst is Ben Elliott, and the Baroness Bombburst is Caitlin Cumby. And those two, oh my gosh, the chemistry between those two from day one. And I never read them together. When they auditioned. It was just one of those, let's try this kind of things. And it just turned out to be super, super. And they far exceeded, I think, even their own expectations, which as a director in community theater, if this was professional, it'd be a whole different thing. But in community theater, you want people to grow, and you want people to do things they never thought they could do. And we've seen that happen, because Caitlin Cumby's never done anything. I mean, Caitlin is Camille Sanders' sister, and she's been the one, in the background all these years. and she even surprised Camille. I mean, she just went, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know she could do that." So
now, if I'm not mistaken, she's the sister that Camille has, the Sanders sisters Instagram page where they do recipes and whatnot. That's that sister.
Yeah, she only has one season.
Okay, there you go. Very nice. That's cool. Well, yeah. Well, she's Insta famous, so that's a testament to the awesomeness of this production. You mentioned Caitlin and Camille. Let's go ahead and address them because, as I understand it, Caitlin is your assistant director and Camille is director of music. So
Yes.
if you would take a moment to brag on those two ladies and what they've contributed to this production.
Oh my gosh! There is no way. I've directed many plays here, and I've had to do everything myself. I mean, from lights and sound to costumes to everything, and having them. Now, music, I always did have a music director, and that has been Camille's total job. I mean, we don't get involved in it. If anybody in the cast asks us about music, we say call Camille. So that is her domain.
Nice.
She is totally in charge of it, and has full command of that. Even the voices and the performance, the vocal performances on stage, that supersedes my role as acting director, because in fact, in a musical, choreography and the music supersede like the normal blocking that you do for a dramatic or a comedic play. It totally supersedes it, and then you kind of fill in the rest. So those two have been, well, Caitlin has, I mean, gosh, she knows every inch of the choreography. She knows every word to every song. She's working on lights even today. She and her husband, Matt, who is absolutely irreplaceable.
Absolutely,
both of
yeah.
them. And so the two of them have, and I mean, set, oh my gosh, we've had so many, even Greg Knapp and Eliza and Caitlin and several of the other people in the cast have just worked tirelessly helping with, painting sets. We have tons and tons of set pieces. So they've all worked hard, but Caitlin really has been the glue, in my opinion, because she's the one that's here all the time. And now they use apps, and she's in charge of that. So she kind of catches a lot of things that I was used to catching. So it's been a real joy for me not to have to carry the whole weight of the play. I mean, publicity or anything, all of that stuff. And so I cannot brag enough about both of them, and add Matt to that. And then you've got Julie and Greg Beisel, who have helped us get the we have extension stages for this, because everything's so big that we have two auxiliary stages. Actually, we have three auxiliary stages for this performance, and all of that. The physical taking care of those had to be involved, and Greg and Julie have been indispensable. And then I never do anything without Ellen Balke. She's just prop genius and set. And so between she and Steve Balke, her husband, being there, and Linda Ramone has been sewing costumes, and Kate Breeden has been helping with costumes and set pieces. So, I've pulled in some of my good eggs, and Linda Ramone is in the play. And also, so a lot of these people have just done double and triple duty. A lot of the kids in the play are playing 2 and 3 parts.
Wow.
It's extras in different dance scenes and just scenes in general, whether they're a soldier or they're a baker or candy maker. Boris and Gorin is another comedic team, and that's Sharon Pope and Martin Vasquez, and they are hysterical. Nobody can keep a straight face with them around. Samuel Fulcher and Rose Dvorak are the two children, Jeremy and Jemima, and Rose's mom, Miranda Dvorak, is our stage manager, so that's good to have a mom close by. Paul
Right.
Sanders is the child catcher. Oh my gosh, watch out. Is his laugh, and it's spooky. He's just so funny.
It sounds like you've got a great cast of people, and not only on stage,
amazing.
but off as well, too. Again, we're talking to Jen Elliott. She's directing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which opens tonight and runs through Sunday at the Uvalde Grand Opera House. Check uvaldeoperahouse.org for showtimes and tickets, and also keep it on uvalderadio.net to win some for free. When you hear the flying card, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, call in. There's details on our website. Thanks for the insight and look into what's going on. I guess any other information that we need to know, any tips about the best way to acquire tickets, maybe parking, is there going to be an intermission, any kind of logistical information that would be good to know?
Online is probably the easiest, but you can always stop by the Opera House and they'll print out tickets right away. You can call, and I think they'll put them on hold. I'm not sure about that, but check. I think that parking is actually the last couple of days it hadn't been so bad, and since all the media's gone and it's died down a little bit, but they're working on some of the murals downtown, so sometimes the park area fills up. I would say to park all around within the 2-block area around the Opera House on the east side of Getty, over by the courthouse might be good, and all the way down to, for the nighttime performances. We do have 2 matinees, Saturday and Sunday at 2. And so I don't know, that may be even harder, I don't know. But the cast is not allowed to park near the Opera House during a show. So
crack that whip.
The parking, and I don't think there'll be a problem. But stopping by or ordering online, either one, has been pretty simple for everybody, I think. On Thursday night, there will be a reception with the actors and the cast, the crew, everybody, the musicians. The rest of them, we will not. There will be an intermission. There's a 15-minute intermission. I think are those the only questions you have?
That's pretty much it. Again, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang opens tonight, runs through Sunday. Uvalde Grand Opera House, tickets at uvaldeoperahouse.org. My final parting question is, Jan, you're involved with the Uvalde Good Eggs, the Hackberry Hags. You just bleed arts. What's next for you? Are you already on the books to direct anything else or put anything together for Christmas? What's in the future?
I don't know. Right now, the one thing I want to direct, and we've thought about it for several years, but the one thing I really want to direct, which is a very small play, it's called The Fantastic. It's a great off-Broadway play. In fact, I think it's the longest-running off-Broadway play ever. But it was written by 2 boys who went to the University of Texas together, and it's just a beautiful little teeny tiny play. I think there's 5 people in the cast. Teeny, but it's a musical. It's a little tiny musical. It's real sweet, and I'd love to direct it. I've always wanted to direct it. So we'll hope that happens. And, of course, Good Eggs will have their Christmas show, but and then we're going to bring some other things to town, but I think that's my next. We were 2 years ago, I guess, Caitlin and Camille and I were talking about doing 12 Angry Men, but we decided there were too many angry people. We decided not to do that one. No. And that was 2 or 3 years ago. We said, no, let's don't do that. Although that still would be a great play to do. It's just hard to get that many men to commit. And,
we're a fickle bunch.
You're working all day, but that's one we all love. It's just, it'll come at the right time.
Well, let's clarify. It's easy to find 12 angry men. It's just hard to find 12 angry men that'll perform in your play.
We want 12 real sweet men who can be actors.
Exactly.
Play those people.
Well, Jan, thanks again for all the information. And again, if you need more information, guys, if you're at home listening, uvaldeoperahouse.org. Be sure and get on out and support local community arts. It's really important. I know, Jan, that you have a heart and a passion for it, not only, supporting it financially, but with your time and efforts and energy and talent. So thank you so much for basically spending an entire spring and summer. And that's just, the reason. I know this has been planned for over a year now. So thank you for bringing this to town. And we just want to get as many people there as possible.
Oh, yeah. I don't want anybody to miss it because it's really, really fun. So come on out. You'll love it. You'll have a good time. Sing along and just pretend that everything is a fantasy and it's all fun, and then we can go back to our real life.
That's right. Again, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang tonight through Sunday at the Uvalde Grand Opera House. That's going to wrap it up here with Jan Elliott. I'm Robert Miguel, and this is UvaldeRadio.net. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.